Prices are already going up on some popular items,
whoa.
tires,
Whoa.
strollers.
This is such a dishonest interview already. Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers for gasoline.
Welcome back, folks. I've got another thrilling trending highlight for you today. Make sure to like, subscribe for the latest political scoop, and leave your comments. Let's dive right in.
So you've often said you want US to be bigger, better, and stronger. Currently, Russia is the biggest country in the world by landmass, followed by Canada and then China. So when you say that you want to annex Canada, is it so that it would be the biggest country in the world?
No, I never even thought of it that way, although I am a real estate developer at heart. I've never heard that question. But what we thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time. And if they make it, we're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people, if they're the kind of people that we want in our company, industrious people that could love our country. And if they're not, they won't. But it will give them a path to becoming, to coming back into the country.
But it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on China. Your Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen, Terry.
No, okay, well,
nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes,
and
so 145% tariffs on China, and that is
that's good.
basically
That's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on
They
everything
deserve
from
it.
electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. Since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down, many things are down, just about everything. You don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that, down into a much lower number.
One of the crazy things with regards to the Treasury is that when a payment is made, and the computers at the Treasury actually pay about $5 trillion per year, like crazy amounts, there was formerly not a budget code on there. So if a payment was made, you didn't know actually what it was for.
We've created 350,000 new jobs and brought core inflation down to its lowest level in many, many years. Energy is down. Look at your cost of energy, way down. Groceries are down. Even eggs are down. Remember I came in? Remember I was here a week and they started screaming at me, the fake news. Egg prices have doubled. I said, they just got here. I've been here for 4 days. I said, tell me about egg prices. They've doubled. Well, they didn't double under me. I just got there, and we did a great job. We brought down the cost of eggs. In fact, they said you won't have eggs for Easter. They wanted to we have a big Easter egg hunt at the White House. You saw it just take place. And they thought we should order thousands of plastic eggs. Plastic. I said, no, we'll do it. And we straightened out the egg situation very quickly. Our great Secretary of Agriculture did a fantastic job, and we had so many eggs we didn't know what the hell to do with them. And prices of eggs have gone down 87% since I took office. That's something, right?
Just an idea I've had, and I guess because the judges, so many of these radicalized judges, they want to have trials for every single, think of this, every single person that's in our country illegally, that came in illegally. That would mean millions of trials, and it's just so ridiculous what's happening. And it's long been a symbol, Alcatraz, of whatever it is. I mean, it's a sad symbol, but it's a symbol of law and order. And it's got quite a history, frankly. So I think we're going to do that, and we're looking at it right now.
Congratulations. That's very nice. That's a great honor. Now I know why you fought so hard to get her out of jail. So how long were you in jail?
4 to 15 months.
That's a long time. And I'm pleased to reveal that the 2027 NFL Draft, that's a big thing, will be held right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., on the National Mall. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI. I think it's the fake news media that, they're fakers.
The president suggested over the weekend maybe rebuild and reopen Alcatraz, put him there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean someplace.
I'm all for that. All for that. And I think it will be a cost savings. We'll have specially trained guards. They'll be in isolation. They won't be able to run their businesses. And it sends a very strong message that if you do this, you are going to be out of our society forever. Had these guys been housed at Alcatraz, this would have never, ever happened. They're drug dealers, they're the worst of the worst, and they're killers.
The president has made it clear he wants to see a permanent ceasefire, first to stop the killing, stop the bloodshed. And while he remains optimistic he can strike a deal, he's also being realistic as well. And both leaders need to come to the table to negotiate their way out of this. And I do think that the president meeting with President Zelensky shows that he is exuding a lot of effort and time into this because he wants to be a peacemaker president, which he was in his first term. He intends to do that again. And this is an incredibly difficult situation and conflict that President Trump inherited from President Biden, who allowed this war to start in the first place, but he's focused on solving this problem.
Thank you. After you, fellas. Anybody that won that many games, he should go first. That's a lot of games.
Don't worry.
Trump!
Prices are already going up on some popular items.
Whoa.
Tires, strollers.
This is such a dishonest interview already. Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers for gasoline. What?
So this is the 2,492 carats there.
God is good.
So breaking right now, New York Times photographer Doug Mills awarded the Pulitzer Prize for the stunning images he took in Butler, Pennsylvania, the assassination attempt on President Trump, July 13, 2024. We remember this incredible image of the bullet whizzing by the president after grazing his ear. There were a lot of stunning images from that day, but that one has just been awarded the Pulitzer Prize.
We all know President Trump and his administration and their allies are counting on the notion that fear can be contagious. They are counting on the notion that if they make some people afraid, it will have a chilling effect on others. But what they're overlooking, what they have overlooked, is that fear is not the only thing that's contagious. Courage is contagious.
How about this? Raise your hand if you do not think children with cancer who are American citizens should be deported. Looks like it's all the Democrats and none of the Republicans.
This is my office. I have obviously photos of myself with the president. You also have a picture of me, and that's my baby, my 9-month-old son. That was from our senior staff swearing-in ceremony. And then this picture here is from my first briefing. This is my fun little cork board. This is a 7th grade class from Georgia who came to visit. Their dad is one of my colleagues here in the White House, and they asked if I could go speak to the students, and they wrote me and signed this cute little thing. Another picture of my baby on his first Air Force One flight. And then this is a meme that I love. It's a man pointing at a brain, and it says, "No thanks, I won't be needing that because I believe everything the legacy media shows." So look, we want critical thinking around here.
You started out as a White House intern during Trump's first term. What is it like now being back and being the White House press secretary for him?
It's crazy. I mean, it has totally come completely full circle. Every day when I come into work, I try to remember what a blessing it is to work in this building and to remember the policies we're implementing are truly impacting so many lives.
About 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left.
The president believes in fundamental biology. Isn't that something? Which is why he made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two sexes, male and female. And because men and women are biologically different, President Trump ended the unfair, demeaning practice of forcing women to compete against men in sports and having their private spaces invaded.
Joe Biden was the first president in the history of this nation who came in office and unsecured a border on purpose. Now President Trump and this administration here, the success is unprecedented. Today, as I'm standing here, we have the most secure border in the history of this nation.
The Bush administration has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one.
As Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. Apple, great company, was building everything in China. Now they just announced that they're spending $500 billion to invest in America, not in China. My friend Jensen from NVIDIA, they're spending, you know what NVIDIA is? They're spending $500 billion. TSMC, the biggest chip maker in the world by far from Taiwan, they're spending $200 billion in the United States. Amazon, $21 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $55 billion. The Mac, $20 billion. Merck, Stellantis, General Motors are putting in billions. And
being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender. And that's, you know, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man.
Particularly as a Black man.
Alright guys, God bless you and thank you for watching, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and hope to see you in the next trending topics.